to gaming. Today I've had some apprehensions about even doing this rant. I've had a couple of friends that PM me that I kind of expressed my interest in doing it based on some new news that's kind of come to light, and they encouraged me to go ahead and do it. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a sincere person. I pride myself in being honest, and if something troubles me, I stand behind it, and I put my best foot forward. I mean, I gave up a Fortune 500 job in the early 90s because I defended a fellow employee that was let go for something today that wouldn't fly. That company would be sued and probably shut down because of it. But I made a stand. It cost me a very well-paying job, and which had a huge future. And I would do it again. I felt the first couple of days, oh my God, what have I done? But it kind of forced me to think for myself, and I went out and started my own business. So in the end, it was the best thing that ever happened, and I felt right for making a stand on something that was an important issue at that time. I don't get involved with a lot of these issues anymore, especially with politics. Everyone has their own view, and I like to really take in the smorgasbord of people's ideas and views, and I take a little bit from each. I'm not a hardcore right-winger. I'm certainly not a left-winger. I'm somewhere in between. I have no allegiance to either side, to be honest with you. I think for myself. At the end of the day, I pride myself in being a critical thinker and thinking of things rationally and thinking what's best for me, what's best for my family, for my friends. As a gamer, what's best for the gaming community. I think that that's very important. People that know me know that I love the Xbox. I love Microsoft. I've had very good luck with the original Xbox. Was a huge fan. When the PlayStation 3 came out, I decided to pass on it and get an Xbox 360 instead. I've had very good luck with it. I've never even had the red ring of death. I got mine in late '09, as some know. And I love the game. I love Xbox Live. I love a couple of the exclusives, especially the Crackdown series and the Forza series, as many know. And I do love my PlayStation 3 as well, and I'll be getting a backup Xbox 360 real soon. I'm sure the price will drop. I've heard rumors of around the holidays. I'm going to wait, and I'll get a new PS3 and Xbox 360 as backups because I want to keep playing my gaming collection for years to come. So that even if something happens down the road years from now, I'll have a brand new Xbox backup system. I can transfer a cable and save all the data. But anyway. I love both systems. I'm not a fanboy either way. Now, I know bringing this up right off the bat, people are going to get defensive because they've already kind of committed to pre-ordering an Xbox One or PlayStation 4 or whatever. So people naturally are kind of married to their ideas of what they want in life, and they defend it vehemently at times. Quite often, that's just someone who's just a real fanboy. And I grew up with being a fanboy for Fords. When I was younger, right out of high school, my dad had always had Fords. I was a diehard Ford guy. Screw Chevys, screw Dodges. I'm, Ford all the way. And Ford had some great motors, great cars. But later, I realized that Ford wasn't all that it was cracked up to be, and that, frankly, the Chevys were a lot more reliable, easier to work on, half the price of rebuilding a motor and parts, and I saw my friends having lots of fun on the weekends while I was constantly working on my Fords that I thought were so perfect. So I've learned over the years to accept everyone's point of view, that there's good and bad in everything. And there's seasons for things. There's seasons when Fords made some of the best cars that probably were better than Chevrolets. And there are times where Chevy kind of came out on top or was making really killer cars that frankly would look better or were more reliable than Fords, and vice versa. So I'm pretty open-minded about what's good and what's bad in society. Now, no one could be more excited about this new Xbox 720 Durango, just the regular Xbox, whatever they were going to call it at the time, than myself. I was very, very excited for this. So when the Xbox reveal came out, I think it was in May 21st or somewhere around there, I actually took the day off from work. I said, I'm going to sit home, make a couple of sandwiches, and I'm going to sit and really relish in what's going to be the new Xbox. I mean, no one was more pumped. And frankly, when it was all said and done and over, no one could be more disappointed than me than the lackluster presentation they gave. And again, I appreciate Microsoft as a company showing all of the assets of this new Xbox, Xbox One they decided to call it. I'm not a big fan of the name either. I think the original Xbox is really the Xbox One, but whatever, that's fine. It's just a name, it doesn't mean anything. It's what the games that come. So, and that's really why I was disappointed, because I wasn't seeing a lot of games. This Quantum Break and a couple, like 10 seconds of the new Forza 5, and not a whole lot that really wet my whistle and got me really salivating for the new Xbox. And I go, well, that's okay, E3's coming, I'm sure it'll be even better. But what I did take from the reveal was that they had this new Kinect feature built in, incorporated into it. And right off the bat, when they told that this is not just your dad's Kinect, this is a whole new Kinect, very sophisticated, can detect, perspiration, facial movements. They even talked about how games down the road could evolve and change based on your reactions. And if they see you're not scared enough, that maybe something in the game will change to make you more scared and what have you. And I go, well, that's very interesting, but I don't know that I feel really comfortable having this thing scrutinizing me or my family members. And then later I heard that it could be used for cable boxes as well. Instead, it could be kind of the one box for all. You can do your cable shows and use your arms or voice commands to scroll through, the new Xbox dashboard and pick out your favorite shows or Netflix or, football games or whatever it is. Again, I'm not into sports. It's kind of wasted on me. I do like Netflix and I do like watching YouTube videos on my 360 quite a bit. I think it's perfect for that, in fact. There's times where it's a lot more comfortable to sit my fat ass on the couch and watch it than to watch it here at a computer monitor. But anyway, it's one of those things where I saw what they were trying to do and I go, well, that's innovative. They're trying to have something that's something for everyone. So grandma can enjoy the Xbox. She gets something out of it. She can use it for watching, navigating her TV shows while she's home days, or the housewife, or the casual gamer that only plays the Madden games or COD games or whatever. And I saw where they were going. They want it naturally in every home. They want it to be an integral part of Americans' life. And a lot of people have the Xbox 360. It's done very, very well. The PS3 now is doing well. In the beginning, they sold at a huge loss. It was kind of overpriced. And Sony along the way, and it cost them, me as a consumer initially, I wouldn't get one based on the high price and some of the things that weren't fully proven and tested at the time. The kind of the same thing with the 360. I saw the red ring of death, and I kind of waited until I saw reports that they had attempted to fix that before I went out and bought one. So I'm one of those type where I'm patient. I like to have day one purchases too. No one wants a launch day PS4 or Xbox One more than me, but I'm also live long enough to be patient and wait for them to fix the bugs. Quite often a new model Mustang comes out, Camaro new car. The first year of any car is not always the best year to get. Usually the first year they see all the bugs and what work, and so the second and third year are usually the better years to get them. That's kind of the same thing with gaming consoles or anything else, I mean, any gadget. So the first ones are usually the worst. Now initially I was going to jump on the Panasonic 3DO. When it first came out, I was very, very excited. I had saved for, God, like 9 or 10 months for this damn thing. I finally had the money, and then at the last minute, literally like a week before I was going to see, I saw this new PlayStation commercial in 1995 for the PlayStation, and I saw the future with the new CD-ROM games and disc, and I saw what Sony had in the way of exclusives right off the bat, what they were planning on doing. I thought that it was a much more comprehensive package. I had already heard that people had had problems with a Panasonic 3DO. And Panasonic's a huge company too. I thought I was totally blown away with the Panasonic 3DO and some of the motion capture animations and stuff that they had in it for back then was very advanced. So I really had to think hard. At the last minute, literally, I mean, in one night, I changed my mind and got the PlayStation in '95 went down, put down the big bucks, and I think it was just a little bit cheaper than the Panasonic 3DO. And I'm glad I did, because not long after that, the Panasonic went belly up. The things are incredibly unreliable. You're hard-pressed today to even find one that even works. They just had so many problems with it, which is unfortunate, because I really wanted to see that materialize into a great gaming system. It'd be nice to have more gaming systems other than just Sony, Nintendo, and Xbox. But anyway, so this Xbox reveal comes and goes. I had a lackluster feeling. That's okay. Then the Sony press conference came. And I liked the games on that a lot. Some of them, like The Witness, very excited about. I think the Drive Club game looks pretty good. I love the Killzone series, the Killzone Shadowfall. So it doesn't have a lot of exclusives that really lock me in, but I like that it's a powerful computer. I saw an early demo, which had some glitches in it at the time, for the new Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Oh my God, this thing looks lush. It's like a gaming PC, for crying out loud. So I was all over it. So I already kind of liked that, but I said, I'm going to wait though. The PlayStation's looking good, but I'm sure at E3, they're going to pull out all the stops, and then I see again more stuff on the Kinect, and then by then I've seen more reviews on the Kinect and Rev3 games and other YouTube shows. Did some wonderful exploiting and deconstructing the Kinect and how it works and comparing it to the old one, and everyone seems very impressed with it. But again, it's creepy that it can study you to such a degree that it can know how many people in the room. Cable companies want to be on board with it, because in that way, if there's a pay-per-view event, it actually knows if there's more than 5 people in the room or whatever, and can charge more money. So I already kind of saw the commercial, and I know I'm a business person. I know how the world works. In fact, the job I'm doing right now, I had to take $15 off the price, or actually throw in $1,500 worth of work to get the job. I'm not thrilled about it. That's my profit. That's 35% of my profit gone right there. But that's how I stay busy. In this economy, you have to do what you have to do. A lot of my friends, I won't lower my prices. We're going to keep our prices. You know what? They're out of business. So you fluctuate with the times. You do what you have to do to gain the trust of that customer. And I do that with every job. Every job, I purposely throw something in for free above and beyond the expectations of that customer to make them really happy. So you know what? The next time they need a paint, or to paint the outside of their house, or do their kitchen cabinet, something like that, they'll call me. That's good marketing. And Sony, I think, has learned from some of their mistakes. They've made some horrendous mistakes. Some of them are not as horrendous, but they're learning. They're evolving. Sometimes their TVs and products are really good. Other times they aren't that great. So I've watched Sony over the years. I've been a big Sony fan. My early stereos back in the late 70s was a Sony, which I spent a lot of money on. And I've had Sony TVs and all this stuff, and Sony cameras, everything. So I like Sony. I think overall they've got a pretty good product. I love their gaming systems. I love their exclusives. I still have leaned towards Microsoft and the Xbox. But this Xbox One Kinect, to me, is too intrusive. And initially people, what are you going to afraid of these tinfoil hat wearing guys? What, are you afraid the government's going to spy? Well, no, not that they would, although it has been disclosed that Microsoft has some alliances with the government, and down the road that could be a possibility. But believe me, if this thing is in place to where advertisers, as well as the government or Microsoft itself, to monitor its viewers for its own reasons, more than likely for profit. Now, they just had this thing in Arizona where they went down and they disclosed. And Microsoft has done these 180s. Oh no, we don't want. They saw quickly that Sony was winning. I mean, really fast. There were a lot of very brash comments. If you don't like, the new Xbox One and this and that and the always online, well then we have the perfect console for you. It's our older, obsolete product, the Xbox 360. So you can take that or leave it. Major attitude. That was a huge turnout for me personally. But I said that person was let go or whatever. That's fine. There's been a changing of the guard. There's been a lot of marketing and PR missteps along the way. The messaging is some of the worst I've ever seen. And I'm pretty intelligent. I can kind of read between the lines of a lot of this stuff. But, the comments like, just deal with it. If you don't like our new Kinect or you don't like our new Xbox One, is inappropriate. And it's a really crass statement that, at the end of the day, really shows how arrogant some of the heads in the ivory tower mindset of Microsoft are. I was really shocked by that. But again, some of those people have been let go. There's been a few, changes in place. The DRM thing went over like a lead balloon. I knew it would. Now, I didn't personally have a big problem with it. I understand a lot of gaming companies, developing companies, and publishers are getting ripped off because of piracy, whatever. They're trying to do something that's more in line with Steam and the PC gaming. I understand that. But a lot of my friends had an issue with it. And again, I didn't feel it such a big thing. I'm going to do a show on it. I'm not one of these, anti-day one DLC people, or these, screw these season passes and microtransactions and Dead Space 3 and all that. I don't, get on a soapbox because the ending of Mass Effect 3 isn't the ending that I like. I'm not one of these people who, get on a campaign against Gearbox Software because we got screwed and lied to, and Aliens Colonial Marines, we were told it was going to be a great game, all this. Hey, look, you got to grow up and deal with this stuff. In fact, last night I just downloaded the Stasis Interrupted DLC for Aliens Colonial. I'm one of the 12 or 20 people that actually likes the game. I see the problems with it, but again, people have ridiculous expectations, and they make these huge mountains that are frankly little molehills, but I don't think anything is more important to make an issue out of than what is happening with this Kinect. Now again, as you started to say, down in Arizona, they had this big, advertising conference. Who shows up but Microsoft? They just reversed, the region lock and the downloadable, I guess digital rights management. All this stuff has been reversed 180 degrees, and they kind of swing with the wind. Which that in and of itself, it's lost the vision from Microsoft. I don't even know what this thing is anymore. This Xbox 360. It's like it stands for nothing. There's no real vision behind it anymore. It fluctuates like the wind. I think they'll say anything, like a politician wanting to get reelected. They'll say anything to get in office or to get those Christmas sales right now. But down the road, there'll be fine print that you'll just agree to because you want that downloadable game or you want to install the game or whatever. And as part of their deal, I wouldn't be surprised if they start changing some of these policies, whether it's the DRM deal or it's things with the Kinect, but now it's been disclosed that they're bragging actually, arrogantly bragging about how this new Kinect can observe people in the home and will know what they like, can study their reactions to commercials to know whether it's something that intrigues them. If it is, then the that's a lot of revenue for Microsoft. They're all over that. Now, I've had a couple friends, I mentioned this on Facebook. Well, Dean, they're already doing that with Facebook and Google and all that. Well, that's true, but there's a big difference between search words on my computer and Facebook, which is free, by the way, so they know that I like Chevrolets or Pontiacs or Trans Ams or whatever. And guess what? I start seeing more ads for restoration magazines for my muscle cars, more Trans Am websites, or Mopars or whatever I'm into. They know that. They know I like science fiction and muscle cars, and I see a lot of other ads and pages that pop up for that, and that's fine. It's actually kind of a nice, convenient thing, considering that Facebook is free. It doesn't really bother me. I think, okay, that's a price you pay for Facebook. If they start charging for Facebook, well, then that may change things. Then maybe I'll rethink, having a Facebook account. But in the meantime, it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta kind of roll with the punches. I know I can be tracked with my cell phone, but I can just leave it on my kitchen counter and not take it with me if I'm really that concerned about it. It's not the end of the world. And there's times where it's nice to have the built-in GPS in case you do get lost in San Francisco and you don't know how to get the hell out of, how to find a damn freeway or something. So I understand that, but we're paying, $600 for this plus tax for this Xbox One. And they're saying, oh, you're getting a free Kinect. No, it's not free. It's built, trust me. I'm a business person. It's built into the price. You're paying that $100 for that Kinect. Why they won't make it an option is beyond me. I think it could be, one reason could be they've mass-produced so many of them with the packaging. Kinect is already built in. They obviously would like to sell it. Some of the people speculate because the developers want to be able to use this and start, if it's mandatory, that maybe that it'll encourage people to make more motion control games or have more motion control gimmicks within regular games, which, again, I'm not a big fan of. But I think that if people want motion controls, like I never ever was the least bit interested in a Wii, the Nintendo Wii when it came out. I mean, for housewives that want to work out or play Wii golf or whatever, I know people that like it. They want to. They want a motion control gimmick. And Sony had the Move, and of course the Kinect came out right after because they saw how well the Wii was doing. So it's a money thing. And for those that want motion control gimmicks, I think that's great. I think if you want those types of games, you should have them. I'm really excited for this new Oculus Rift. I would be one of the first people to pre-order that. I don't care how heavy the thing is, cumbersome or claustrophobic it is. I am very intrigued with that. And I'm going to watch that over time as well. But as long as it's not, spying on me and farming, my information out to advertisers or the government or God knows what. So, to me, my issue is that you're paying top dollar for this $600 for this Xbox One. You're probably going to get an extra controller. You're going to buy a couple games. You're spending right off the bat $700-800 for this system. Then you're going to get Xbox Gold. I mean, you got to have the Xbox Live set up. So you're spending all that money for that. And Microsoft is greedy enough to insist that they can make even more money off from you without you realizing it? Well, they study you to sell your information to advertisers. To me, it's intrusive. I feel it's morally wrong. I really feel that it's extremely presumptuous for Microsoft to assume that we're all okay with this. This is the one time in my life where if I've ever wanted to boycott a product, it's now. And it kills me to say this. I have friends that have already pre-ordered this thing. I know this is going to be ill-received. And frankly, if it bothers you, and if you immediately, your first reaction is to get defensive to this, think about that for a minute. Is it because you're, a Microsoft, Xbox fanboy? Or perhaps you're a stockholder within the Microsoft company? I mean, there's got to be a reason why anyone would defend this. Now, initially people said, Dean, the Kinect is really good. You give it a chance. Look, I've tried the Kinect. I've played Forza 4 with it at my nephew's. I've used it a couple of Dance Central, one of the games got a couple of years back. I tried and we almost did a Chris Farley, coffee table crash in the process. It's just not for me. But I know that my nephews love it and other people like it. I think that's great. But I don't like the fact that it can be used for something else all entirely. I think that there's a hidden agenda, an ulterior motive with the Kinect, aside from just using it for Skype or for doing hand movements, for changing your dashboard or whatever. I don't like the fact that there's a hidden agenda, that the government, anyone could tap in and utilize this thing. It's highly intrusive. It's creepy as hell. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist. I mean, you can watch movies like 1984 with Richard Burton if you want to see something really disturbing with a camera in every home. Have a look at it sometime if you can. It takes me about 10 years to get the courage up to even watch the film. I have it in my DVD collection. It's a highly disturbing movie. And I've seen a lot of these sci-fi films in the 70s and 80s. They kind of talk about the future where everyone's being watched by Big Brother. We've got this new game, Watch Dogs, that's coming out, which is slightly disturbing, the premise, but it's fascinating. Because there's hackers and people everywhere. That's the world we live in. And that's kind of my point, too. One of the reasons why I've never had a computer virus, or my wife, the fact that I've never been hacked, ever, is because I'm very careful. I have a separate bank accounts for everything. I have a separate account just for PayPal money. So if that account ever gets hacked, they're not going to get more than 14 bucks out of it, because I transfer money in that just for doing my eBay and my Amazon purchases. I'm very careful what I download. I'm very careful. My Skype camera is turned around, facing my deal here in the corner, and I can disconnect it on top of that, just because I can. I'm careful. I've lived long enough to kind of see it all, and I have enough self-respect and dignity that I, frankly, respect myself and my privacy and my wife's privacy. My wife is more upset over this new Kinect thing than I am. I was actually trying to rationalize, okay, well, maybe I can hide it behind the subwoofer in my TV. They say it can be turned off, but really it's on standby, and it's kind of like a computer being on standby. I don't know about that. It's very troubling to me and confusing. I was trying to look at rationally, okay, could I really live with this thing? Because I really want to play Forza bad. And I certainly know why people want to play the Dead Rising game and some of the other exclusives like the new Halo coming out. I understand that. But is your dignity worth an gaming exclusive? Are you willing to sell your soul and allow Microsoft to have this thing in your home? And whether it's now or 2-3 years from now, all of a sudden you'll quickly sign away some. I mean, I just downloaded this Lost Planet 3 on my PlayStation 3, and there's just pages of scrolling through. You read all this, do you accept it? After the first couple times you do that, you just quickly scroll through, finally accept. I just want to play the damn game. Next thing you know, you're accepting God knows what. This is my problem with this. I'm not anti-Microsoft. You should not get this Xbox One. All I'm saying is, make that, as gamers, I'm looking out for the gamers. I'm looking out for you, for your rights. There's other people that do rants on this with a lot more swearing, a lot more emotionally heated about it than I am. I don't think I have to go there. I just want to state it rationally and state my concerns. But to me, it is highly intrusive. I think it's wrong. I think that we're selling our soul for a damn gaming system and for game exclusives. I think we should, as consumers, make Microsoft, let them know, look, we don't want this thing. You either provide a unit that doesn't have it, or we're not interested. Now, I heard on Machinima's Inside Gaming a month or so ago, maybe it was a couple months ago, they had a new rumor that, guess what, by next summer, Microsoft, there's rumors that they're going to have 3 models. One will be without a Kinect, 2 will be with the Kinect, but will have different size hard drives. I said, no, I take my hat off to Microsoft. Thank God for them. See, now this, finally, they've listened, they've learned. Well, it wasn't even, the day wasn't over, and one of the big wigs from Microsoft dispelled that rumor. Said, no, there'll never be an Xbox One without a Kinect. I go, oh, really? Interesting. So, again, I've been patient, I've been watching it, but I'm really bothered. Now, they could be just saying that because they've mass-produced so many, they want to do well this holiday season. They naturally want to try to sell it with the Kinect if they can. It's more money for them in the long run. But to me, as a consumer, you have the right to say, no, I'm not buying your system with this. I don't authorize you to spy on my family, my children, my cats, me, dogs, anything. I think it's wrong. I think this is going to start a snowball effect. We start opening ourselves up to this. Who knows where it goes down the road in the future? I'm just, mark my words. I don't like to be one of those people that down the road, look, I told you so, as I'm shaking my finger at everyone. But I think this is going to go down the wrong path. I think that we're buying into something that we didn't authorize, that we don't, frankly, most of us don't appreciate. I think we should really think twice about it. And then I'm hoping that they'll change. I really am hoping that if the sales don't do well and they realize that several people, many people have an issue with it, that they'll be forced to make one without this damn Kinect thing built into it. Again, it's not an anti-motion control, it's this anti-spying. I don't think that we should have this thing in our homes. That's just how I feel. Now, you can either validate what I'm saying or not. So, again, I don't want you to feel bad. I'm not trying to lay a thick guilt trip on everyone for pre-ordering this thing. You're excited about the games. You're excited about the exclusives that you love. I understand that. Just think about what I'm saying. And I'm not the only one saying it. There's other people who are saying the same thing. So I was apprehensive to do this rant, but I wanted to get it off my chest. It's really been bothering me for a while. And I think it's an important issue that we really need to think about. As Americans, in particular, we're losing our civil liberties, we're losing our privacy, our rights. It's happening at an alarmingly quick rate. I don't like the direction that the world is going, that the country is going in many areas. We have many new improvements. There's some things that are changing for the better, and I think that's fantastic. People that know me know that I'm a positive person. I don't buy into all the negativity and the sky is falling kind of stuff. I try to keep it positive and always look for the best in people, in products, technology, everything. And we're living in great times in that respect. Technology's never been better. Frankly, it's never been cheaper. But I think that we, as consumers, have the right to have what we want. Don't tell me Microsoft can't make this thing without the Kinect. I don't buy it. Sony said that they were talking about having their twin camera motion control built in as well. They quickly got the feedback and respected the gamers enough not to include it. I respect Sony for doing that. Sony gets my money, at least this time around. Let's hope that they make this Xbox without this Kinect and that there's no hidden agendas and ulterior motives. Thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate you to have the patience to hear me out on this. Bye.